Hey y'all, I am back with Belle Collective Season 5, Episode 10, State of the Reunion. First of all, listen, before I start, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Okay? Um, this review is gonna be a little lengthy. They have thoroughly managed to piss me off. Um Overall, I feel like the season was good. Okay, and we had some hit and misses, but you know, let's go ahead and get into. All right. So the episode picks back up with Letitia, her and Antoinette. Y'all, they still arguing. And all you hear Letitia saying is, "You're not practicing. You're not practicing." Ma'am, she is still licensed. Okay. And so this is what I noted. I looked, it was a moment where the camera panned in on Antoinette, and Latrice literally looked like she was checked out, y'all. And so she had that little moment, y'all know, when she was twitching, and she looked like she wanted to cry. She looked like she wanted to cry. So that was just my observation. It was a lot of moments you saw with Latrice. It was kind of like unspoken, but to me, my opinion, y'all. Anyway, Antoinette tells Carlos that she sold her business for profit, and that she told Letitia, tell me what you think of me now. Tell me what you think now. Since she put it out there like I sold it for profit, some people came and it was like, hey, you want to sell? And she sold it. And apparently I think she moved to another state. I don't know. So Carlos asked Antoinette about the lose money comment that she made. And Antoinette says her being on the show is making her push her clients back 2 to 3 days. And so she's filming like the other 4 days. And she says to see when she comes into a setting where there is nothing but bickering and arguing. She then said she don't see an abundance of achievement and success in their businesses. So yes, she loses money. And my thing is, Antoinette, you could have just said no. It's just as simple as that. You could have said no. You know what reality TV brings. You know that it's going to be arguing. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. What I'm saying is nobody made you do it. You wanted to be on TV. Why? Because you coming up here, piping up, being dramatic or theatrical. Because that's what I saw on you. And then for me, I feel like, yeah, there are parts of you that want to be on the show. Yeah, I do. I feel like you want to. And so to me, it's just as simple as a no. You could have just said no. But then you sit here, you come on here, you belittle these ladies' businesses because you're not putting a name on whom you talking about, unless you're talking about Letitia Pearson, okay? Because everybody else is doing well. And so Marie was like, what the, she said? Yeah, I was laughing. Like, I know Marie, she said, I don't want underwater, Lord Jesus, deliver me. Girl, wait a minute, Marie. So, y'all, Carlos asked Antoinette if she was dating anyone. And she said she have open applications for new hoes and haters. And I was like, that's not what he asked you. He asked if you were dating anyone. Anyway, again, choppy production. I don't know, but whatever. So Carlos then asked her if she would ever consider coming back to Belle Collective. She tells Carlos she was trying to leave Mississippi. But y'all, the way Letitia had all that lump up here, like, and so Carlos asked Letitia, why are you looking like that? Letitia claims her look basically was Antoinette knows she wants to come back. But my question to you is, do you want her to come back? because that'll be your new enemy, because Akeisha's gone. So Carlos asked the ladies if they want Antoinette to return, and all the ladies raised their hand. I want to say except for Marie, Letitia. So Letitia started to lie, girl, all up in her throat, go talking about she want Antoinette back. So y'all, Carlos offers up a public request for Antoinette to return, giving her that open door, like, you can come back. And so that's when he squeezed her, and the ladies are excused. So here is the segment with the men. All right. All the men, let me say this. Fashion wise, Willie looks regular, but he still looked good. Willie looked extremely handsome. Willie is a handsome man. JJ was a mess. Like, first of all, why do you have to be handsome? Why do you have to be extra with that blue velvet outfit? Then to make yourself look even crazy, you had bedazzled in the back of your head talking about they not like us. Who? Selena and her man? Yeah, they not like y'all because they better than y'all. Sorry. Glenn, he had on his high waters. I guess that's what's in. But I'm not going to lie. Even though Glendale is my least favorite, he looks nice. Cliff was Cliff. Cliff was Cliff. Okay? So let's just go ahead. Go and jump into this segment with these men. So, y'all, the way Willie was sitting, he was sitting like this. Like, Willie was tense. And that's how Willie had been sitting. If y'all paid attention, Willie sat like that the whole night. And it was like, for me, with his body language, it read to me, I really don't want to be here. Like, it just read like, I would like to be anywhere but, And so when we saw the part with JJ, he got up, Carlos spoke to JJ. JJ was his usual, I guess, jovial self. He got up. He stood up. He turned around and we saw his bedazzle. And stupid ass Gucci was in the back talking about, yeah, babe, just, girl, shut up. Sometimes when I look at JJ, sometimes I think of him as a minstrel show. And again, Selena don't want to be like you because I feel like that's who you were talking about. They're like, you have all this smoke for this lady. We still don't know why. So Carlos get into the night of the altercation and what led to the altercation. So we get a montage of all of that, right? So Carlos asked Willie, where did things go wrong with the friendship between him and Dumb and Dumber? Dumb and Dumber is Cliff and Glendale. So Willie said he was blindsided. He said they thought that they were in a better place after they left New Orleans. He had not spoken with them since after they left New Orleans. And we seen that conversation that they had. So Cliff jumps in and says that Glenn was mad when Willie said, suck my bells. Glendale, I feel like when Willie said it, I thought he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was talking to Cliff. Glendale stood in front of that stray. That stray wasn't for you, but he stood in front of the stray. You caught that stray on behalf of your friend Cliff. So Cliff was like, I could take a joke, but he said, Glendale don't. Glendale wasn't joking. And so Glendale was like, well, I know how to read body language. And I was like, sir, I guess you can only read body language with men because when it comes to your wife, you're very illiterate. Catch. Anyway, because they pissed me off, y'all. They pissed me off. So Willie asked who stood up first. And then they panned to the back of the room with the ladies. And Letitia was like, You did, Willie. And I was like, girl, shut up. No, he did not. And so Willie tell Carlos, well, what was I supposed to do? Sit there and say nothing or do nothing? He then clocked Glendale and said, you tried to embarrass me. And they did. Glendale was on one when he came into the restaurant. Point blank, period. He was on one when he came into the restaurant. So, Willie thinking, hey, we gonna have a good time. They started turning up. So, Cliff then says, well, the last 2 years, Willie been talking crap, been taking jabs at him. And I was like, Cliff, you do that to your wife. Anyway, he said, but then when it's thrown back at Willie, Willie can't handle it. So Willie was like, that's not it. That's not it at all. And so he said he couldn't understand Cliff's native tongue. Because y'all know when Cliff drink, first of all, when Cliff's sober, we don't know what the hell he be talking about. We can't understand what he talking about. Okay? So Willie tells Cliff when he drinks, he mumbles and he's incoherent and disrespectful to his wife. This is true because you're disrespectful to your wife when you're sober. And so he said when Willie is when Cliff is sober, he's a different man. He's speaking fluent English. I put it in, I'm sorry. He speaks fluent English again. It's like, my Lord. So then the camera, y'all, again, I'm just putting in my perspective. The camera showed Latrice. Y'all, to me, it was just this dark cloud around Latrice. And it is so sad because she just looked like she needed a hug or something. So when we saw Latrice in the back, she was looking at the TV, shaking her head at that back and forward between Willie and Glendale. And to me, y'all, she looked like she wanted to cry. Her body language was very telling to me, and it made me feel like that man of hers got it. Her and that man got into it maybe in the back. Or to me, you either feel bad about being in cahoots with Letitia when it came to Akeisha. You feel bad about that. I know she do. I know she do. Because even when Latrice was on stage, her back was turned, like slightly turned towards Carlos and everybody on that side of the couch. And I don't think it was intentional, but it was like the mall was open, but they didn't have no people in there. And that's just what I get from her. And it's not because of her intelligence. It's just because you can see a woman who is truly, truly broken. And that's all I see when I look at Latrice. So anyway, Carlos asked JJ, where did he think the deep-rooted issues come from? JJ basically said pressure bust pipes. Half the time, I don't understand what the hell JJ be saying anyway. But what pissed me off in that segment is you never, as Willie being your friend, and Glendale and Cliff is your friend, you never held them accountable in that moment. He said, JJ basically said, nobody wants to be disrespected. Here is the other problem I have with that whole statement JJ made. You allow your wife to disrespect Selena at every turn. So you can miss me with that and you can get the fuck out of my face. So I'm feeling like because y'all men ain't supposed to be disrespected, but you can allow your wife to disrespect the mother of your children. Sorry. Whew. Anyway, so Carlos says that the digs were too far. Carlos, no. And I mean no. So Willie said, let me stop you right there. So he said he gets annoyed when Glendale makes comments about him and his wife. Willie said him and fake ass Glendale had off-camera conversations. We get to the back with Letitia. Letitia said Them two never had conversations. Letitia, I'm here to tell you the same nigga you sitting here piping up for is the same nigga that quit his job and started a company without even telling you. So he not gonna tell you about some simple as conversations with Big Willie. Sorry. Let's move on, okay? This parts me off even more so. Because then Carlos started to playing Willie face, and it almost felt like he was placing blame on Willie. Asking Willie, did he hear what Glendale said? Man, Glendale. All right, Kim. Because at this point, I'm sorry, y'all. Listen, I know I keep pausing. But at this point, no accountability was held on on Cliff, and no accountability was held on Glendale. It's almost like Carlos leaves everything open, leaves the mess open, just so we can keep mess going for the next season. But now you don't have Willie or Akeisha, okay? So, I just that annoyed me. That annoyed me that there was no resolve. You had them sit down, and for what? Because we didn't see nothing get resolved. We saw you playing in Willie face. We saw you playing in Akeisha face. Which was probably the camel the straw that broke the camel's back. Which is why they gone. Anyway, everybody come on the stage. Y'all, Mike looked like he was ready to fight. Willie ain't never used that coochie in the can that JJ got for him. And so when so let me tell y'all this. So there was a moment where the camera was sitting towards the back, and you can see everybody on the stage as a whole. It was the body language that each couple displayed, because normally when a man comes, they're either sitting behind their person. They're never really sitting next to them. So the only people that was looking very close is Selena and her man. And then you had Gucci and JJ that was sitting next to each other, but it was nobody was touching. The whole time Willie sat like this, not because he didn't want to touch Akeisha, because he was uncomfortable in a situation or in a room full of people that pissed him the fuck off, and his wife. And of course, Cliff and his wife, they sitting like this. And so is Glendale and his wife. And Letitia, I'm here to tell you, girl, close your legs, because all we seen is this. All your thigh meat. Girl, almost saw your coochie in the can. Anyway, Mike, y'all, listen. Mike is to me is a quiet storm. He looked like he wanted to whoop ass and take names. He had on his jewelry. He had on this part. He had on his watches. Listen, that's just who he is. So Carlos asked JJ, is he hiding something to prevent, are you saying things, hiding things to prevent these ladies from having a relationship? JJ in his plats lied and said no. Carlos says to JJ he was upset when he found out. He said, you were upset when you found out. You seemed like you were upset when you found out that Selena and Gucci had done made up. JJ claims that, things with them could have escalated. So that's why he was preventing it from happening. Sir, you're full of shit. And Carlos was like, but it didn't. He didn't have nothing to say. So Selena said, so then Carlos asked him, what is the relationship between you and your girls like? He said that him, Star, and Sky are building a relationship. They're better. Him and Sanjay, I don't think they speak. So Selena says the only reason Star and Sky have a relationship with JJ is because they reached out to him and not the other way around. And Sophia was like, but it doesn't matter. Sophia, ma'am, if you don't go build a relationship with your children, when I tell you this entire reunion pissed me off. So JJ, so then at this moment, Selena she was mad. Like she was saying stuff. So she was mad. So JJ had the audacity to say he told the girls, y'all, that he wanted their mom to get with a nice man so that man can spoil their mom. And so she can be at peace. I call mother cap. Gucci, you should feel even dumb in this moment. You should. Because he's lying. He's lying. And he's saying all of this on TV to make it seem like he didn't want that lady. So Mike said, if y'all happy, then it don't need to be no disrespect. And Selena said they've been disrespectful for years. At this point, Selena's just going off. And then JJ starts to play in everybody's face and have the nerve to tell Gucci, let her get it out because it doesn't have nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with y'all. Y'all came on the scene talking about this lady parenting. Y'all came on the scene acting like you took care of this those girls. Then on top of all of that, you had your pit bull, aka your wife, come out there and fight on behalf of you. Fight with Selena on behalf of you. Sir, please get out of our face, because I feel like in this moment you're trying to play in our face, trying to make it seem like you're the good guy and you're not. I don't care what nobody say. He's not. I didn't like it. And I don't blame Selena for being pissed off, okay? So y'all, we get into Glendale. I was about to call him Boosie. Glendale and Letitia. Y'all, I rolled my eyes so hard. Glendale has officially quit. Glendale has officially quit his job. So Carlos asked Glendale, do you have a job now? Glendale said he has a box truck. Glendale, that's not what Carlos asked you. I call Cap. So he claims he's a deliverer of what? Okay. Carlos asked what company what company does he have now? Glendale says he's delivering. Letitia pipes up and says our company Pearson and Pearson Logistics. Letitia lied. I was like, girl. So then Letitia lied and said when she put that contract in, people started to reach out to her. Girl, if you don't get the out our face with this. Because how is it that your husband has a company and he don't know what he have, but all of a sudden y'all Pearson and Pearson Enterprise, huh? Y'all, in this moment, the camera showed Willie's face. Willie knew it was Cap. I knew it was Cap. Everybody knew what they were doing were Cap, and what they were saying was Cap. Okay. So Letitia said all of a sudden her and Glendale are closer than ever now. That is the standard 101 husband and wife remedy for them being in a better space, and they're not. So Glendale's claim he have a newfound respect for Letitia's hustle. And I was like, sir, what in the entire fudge your wife do exactly? What is it that you have respect for? Okay, I know she do the brunches. And I know she sell brunch wear, okay? Then they do this stupid ass handshake. And she was like, oh, babe, thank you. And I was just looking like, these hoes is faker, fake and fraud. Okay? Freaking fraud. Freaking Frank. Fake as. So he claimed that Megan Coretta Scott Good was in his DMs. Sir, that lady don't want you. But apparently it was a catfish. It was somebody who was not Megan Good. Because that lady don't want you, she don't even know you. Okay? Apparently he have a crush on her. Whatever, Glendale. So Gucci pipes up and says, you can't cheat with that one. Letitia heard her and said, your man is out of the country cheating. Gucci said, then let him cheat in peace. And then her and Gucci start to argue. And I was like, what was that? That was completely left field. What was that? Whatever. So then we get into Akeisha, Latrice, and Leticia. And Akeisha says she didn't have an issue with Latrice. Akeisha then says she would not tolerate anybody disrespecting her husband. Latrice said her nephew died and Akeisha had that phone. And then she said production gave it to them. And I believe she said production gave Akeisha and Willie the phone. For me, I believe that I believe Akeisha when she said she didn't have that phone. So then Letitia jumps in. Akeisha and Letitia starts to argue to the point where Carlos was like telling both of them, I'm not gonna yell, please stop. So they get into the comment that Glendale made to Cliff when he said that man is in competition with you. You got a hot young wife and he have Akeisha. Akeisha said that was some bullshit. Glendale said he didn't say anything bad about Akeisha. He called her you. Sir, what the fuck? I'm sorry. What does you mean? My bad. What does you mean? So Carlos tells Glendale, let's be real, because he's real. Because you're real. No, he's not. Anyway, Glendale said, no. Glendale was implying, I don't care what Glendale is saying or not saying, you basically was implying that Latrice looks better than Akeisha because she was younger and Akeisha was older. First of all, Akeisha is a beautiful woman. We've seen her with or without makeup. So Glendale gives out this dry apology and says, none of these females on stage are ugly. I have a mother and a grandmother, and I would never disrespect no female. Sir, you sitting up there calling them females. Let's start there. And you acting like you sitting here talking about I got a mother and a grandmother. You also have a wife who you thoroughly disrespect. Been disrespecting her since season 1. Let's start there. Let's talk about that. So Carlos is asking Glendale, his comment has come across as shady because it was. Glendale takes zero accountability, and Carlos didn't hold Glendale's feet to the fire, which is something else that made me mad. So Latrice then talks about her nephew, and she said Akeisha have their iPhone. Willie and Akeisha tell Latrice that they never had the iPhone. Willie was like, man, I put that on everything I love. I don't have the iPhone. What do they even want with somebody else's iPhone? Make that make sense to me. So first, Latrice said, now this is where, because I don't know. First, Latrice said the production gave it to Akeisha and Willie. Then she said it was pinged, I guess, when they did the location. It was at Akeisha's house. Then she said it was in the proximity of Lakeisha's house. So somebody, I guess, threw it out the window. And I'm like, well, which one is it? Which one is it? Because were you really worried about the phone? And I'm gonna be completely honest. Or did that phone become a problem when your nephew died, and he had just happened to be on the show at the time of the altercation? Girl, you can miss me with that phone. Okay, that's how I feel. Anyway, Carlos asked Latrice and Letitia, why do they want Akeisha kicked off the show? Letitia said she's only in Jackson for filming. That's the only time she come in Jackson. and them two start to argue. She lives in New York, or wherever they live. I think it was New York. So why would she stay that year round? And again, the phone worked two ways. Yeah, you may not hear from her when it's time for filming, but the phone worked two ways if you really wanted to talk to her. But the thing is, ever since she came on the set and did what she needed to do, what little she did, little paint she put on the wall on Ferris Street, you've been pissed off. You've been wanting her off the show since. Let's keep it all the way a buck. Anyway, I feel like Letitia piped up in that moment because you're the only one that wants Akeisha gone. I really don't think nobody else wants, not even Latrice. You are the only one that wants Akeisha gone. And so it was easy for you to get with Latrice at the end of this blow up because her husband, your husband, and her husband, their husbands got into it. So I just don't like the fact that Latrice is going along to get along, and you really didn't have a problem with Akeisha, but you created an issue with Akeisha. Is Akeisha, complicit? Not really in this argument, but there are some things Akeisha said and done along the way. But in this situation, that lady ain't do nothing wrong. So Carlos asked Tam Tam how she felt about Akeisha staying. Tam Tam was like she should stay. Marie said she can't answer that question directly because a lot of the Bells have done. They've done and said a lot of stuff, and they haven't got kicked off the show. Oh, like what you did to Tampa. Because they still would have been peeling me off of you. I just feel like these indirect answers isn't what it is. You are friends with Letitia is your friend. So you gonna have her back. Akeisha, you and Akeisha cool. But at the end of the day, you gonna go up for your best friend. So Akeisha said she didn't have an issue with Latrice. And she said she don't give a damn what Letitia think. And neither do I. So we get to the segment with Latrice and Marie. Marie says she's tired and she wants to move forward. And she doesn't want to hold a grudge. So I don't know I want to say maybe between the lupus, that girlfriend, something happening to Jerez's girlfriend where she was unalive. Learning about Essie's lupus and that incident that happened at her house. Honestly, Marie, I feel like she's trying to show up in a different way. So Latrice did say life is too short. So Carlos asked about the burger. Latrice did admit that Marie's burger was good. Carlos asked Latrice and Marie to hug it out, and they actually hugged it out. Now let me say this. It's been 5 seasons of the back and forward between Latrice and Marie. It has gotten old and stale, and quite frankly, I was tired of it. I need Marie to show up better. Again, I say this is her. I feel like this is Marie's turn to step out of this villain role and let the real villain be the villain. And that's just what it is. Because her friend is the villain. Her friend is fake, as fraudulent as heifer. Okay? So, Carlos asked each of the ladies, Akeisha, what they're doing, what's happening. Akeisha says her and Willie are writing a book about their relationship. Sounds familiar because there was another couple that said that on another reality show. But, that was cute. And y'all, we know Akeisha gone. She quit on his Messy Mondays Live. Okay? She quit. Good for her. So Marie is still working. He asked Marie if she's going to retire. She was like, no, I'm still working, opening up a facility, which is good. It seems like Marie really likes what she do. She's passionate about it. And so we find out that Tam Tam have a weight loss team. Selena says she's expanding a clothing brand because her and her girls have a clothing brand, and they are now trying to expand it. She has the kids are in movie roles. I don't know which one. And she says she has more to come. Latrice wants to open a Taste 2.0, kind of like Goddess Lens 2.0. And all of you heifers probably will not be invited because there is always a fight at her event, okay? And she said that her and Cliff are doing some investing. Anyway, Gucci said she passed her broker's test. So she's now a licensed broker, which is amazing. And she now wants to build homes for single families, her and JJ. And we all know that So Gucci has quit the show. So Letitia says she's expanding her brunch and brunch wear. She's helping Glenn to expand his business. And so eventually they can become a distro center. What is he delivering? What are they distributing? Anyway, they toast. And then they toast to Selena getting a Belle. And Carlos gives her a Belle. And somebody said, I ain't never get no Belle. You ain't getting no Belle. Okay? And Selena says what she really wants is for her and her family to be better. And y'all, this was a season in. The Bells really gave this season. This was pretty good. I have been thoroughly pissed off. I have laughed a lot. I have side-eyed some people. Some people I have been proud of. Y'all, this season was too short. But if 8 is what he gonna give, then that's what it is. I am ready for the next season. I don't know what's gonna happen now since Gucci and Akeisha are no longer there. I don't know who he's gonna bring on now. But and then for me, I also feel like Latrice needs to really be healing, because she just looked broken. Y'all, look, if you really look, she looks dark, and maybe it was the makeup, but to me, beyond her eyes, she looks broken. And I need her to heal and just be herself and be able to have permission to emote and have permission to just be and be comfortable in who she is, and not always say that, not always think that everything is about the aesthetics, everything is about the outside. So there are things that she don't do, behaviors that she don't display, and is she cares about more what she look like, what everybody thinks she look like, or what she should look like. I like Latrice, but it's just something about her that's very concerning to me. And 100%, it has to do a lot with that husband of hers. Okay. Letitia. I'm so disappointed in Letitia. I'm so disappointed in that lady. She has been the villain. She has kicked off a whole lot of. I'm going to keep it a buck. I like Tambra, but she needs to be a friend of. She hasn't gave anything. We've seen London Simone twice. There is nothing probably going on between her and that man, or that man don't want to be on the show. But for Tambra hasn't given anything. I think that she should now exit and just be a friend of, because her and Marie has squashed their beef, so there is nothing. So if she stays, what's going to happen? Letitia going to start picking back on Tambra? So for me, I hope that Carlos brings somebody on that is fiery, that's level-headed, that, ain't afraid to say what she feel, how she feel, like none of it, but still overall cool, but still know how to check a heifer when she needs to. Okay. Like I said, it was a good season. We are waiting on the next season, y'all, and I will definitely see y'all in the next video. Bye.